All right. Right. All right. What's going on, everybody? As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watch my content. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an update for you right now. And the update is there's a story that I did almost a year now about a man down here in Memphis. Some of y'all may remember this story, some of y'all may not, but I'm going to refresh your memory in just a minute. Um, there was a man down here in Memphis who was facing murder charges. I think he has been charged for the death of his own son. And if y'all can remember, I said that CPS was allegedly called to him 10 times and nothing was done. Well, the update to date is his mother has reached out to me. Like I told y'all, when I do these stories about any children, anybody, if friends, family, whatever, if they want to come out and speak, hey, I get them the open floor to come out and speak. And, hey, his mom reached out to me last night and we agreed to do this for y'all right now. This is going to be a premiere, y'all. So I ain't got the energy to do it live because I worked last night. But before we get into all that, let me play this news clip for y'all and let y'all hear. Oh, I got to get them out the way. Wait a minute. Now I cut myself off. All right, and I'm gonna let y'all hear the story. Then we're gonna bring the mom in. So here's the story that I did. Have a listen.
Told you about the arrest of Jarrod Wright last week. Tonight, we're learning more about what happened, what led up to the child's death. Fox 13's Kirsten Garris is live outside LeBonheur Children's Hospital. Kirsten, the police report says the injuries were caused by a form of discipline.
Yeah, that's right. In this affidavit, Jarrod Wright said he would use his shoe and hit the boy's bottom as a form of discipline, and that discipline happened multiple times leading up to the child's visit here to LeBonheur Children's Hospital, and that is where the boy eventually died on Christmas Eve. 19-year-old Jarrod Wright is behind bars, charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after his 2-year-old son died on Christmas Eve. Court records show the toddler was taken to LeBonheur Children's Hospital on December 23rd with a severe injury caused by, quote, blunt force trauma to his stomach. The affidavit shows Wright admitted to causing those injuries. According to the report, Wright said as a form of punishment, he would make the toddler lie on the bed with his feet on the floor, back up. Wright said he would sit on the boy's back and then hit him in the butt with his shoes. Wright said when the boy squirmed, he would put his weight on his back and, quote, may have pushed his body into the metal bed frame. Wright admitted this happened 3 or 4 times before Christmas. I went to Wright's last known address, but no one was home. I reached out to the Tennessee Department of Children's Services for an interview about this case, but because of state law, DCS is limited on what they can share about child abuse cases. In a statement to Fox 13, DCS Commissioner Jennifer Nichols said in part, quote, the death of a child is heartbreaking and tragic, and to learn that it may have been at the hands of an adult or even a parent is unthinkable. Wright's TBI background check only shows his arrest for the aggravated child abuse and neglect before the 2-year-old died from his injuries. But Commissioner Nichols said DCS has opened a case into the toddler's death and, quote, had opened 2 previous investigations and in both instances made extensive efforts to try and locate the family. And Jarrod Wright will be back in court on January 8th at 9 o'clock. We will keep you updated as to what happens during that court appearance. Live in downtown Memphis, Kirsten Garris, Fox 13 News.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that I did, and this was posted back on January the 2nd at 9:48. And again, later on, I will play my version that I did of it, which made the mom reach out to me. So without further ado, hold on, guys. Let me bring the mom in. Let the mom tell me what I got wrong. All right, dear. You go ahead and unmute yourself and talk to me.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fine,
Good
love.
morning.
How you doing? Good morning. Good morning to you. Thank you for reaching out to
All
me.
right.
Thank you for reaching out to me. And let's get some things cleared about this story. So All right. How did you find me? First of all, how did you find me when I did the video? How you find me?
Well, it wasn't that I found you. It's like when I get off of work or whatever like that. So I just sit down. I watch TV. Sometimes I have that time to think, and I want to see what the news is talking about. So I'll get back on YouTube or any other social media site. So I seen you.
Okay.
And I started reading about it. Listening to you, and I was watching the same video. I'm like, oh my God. I just can't get it out of my head. My son, my only son, was accused of all this, and all the talk was going on. It's just so much. It's just like, it takes this process to heal. And how I heal, I work.
Right.
But when I'm off, I think. And it's just amazing how all this was going on. So much talk was talked about my son and what the family, this side was doing, his side of the family was doing. No one never thought about even, I guess, calling, contacting. I don't know how it works, but it's just too much. No one never seen us. They never met us in their lives. Since my son had the children by his, the kid's mom, her side of the family never met his side of the family. All the years from the age of his age was, I think, 16 years old until now. They never met us up until that time. It was time for us to go and, see him for the last time. It's just too much. It was a lot of talk on her side of the family, accusing. But if he did all this, you guys still let him in your home.
Right.
Underage. Right. I needed contact to bring my son back home. You guys didn't want him to come home with me. It's like, I don't know, jealousy, anger, and false accusations in Atlanta. It's just so much to put together to try to talk on my son's behalf. He's not here to talk, explain. It's like, I feel I don't know how to put it, but
take your time. Take your time.
We are strong. We're a strong family. Me hearing this other guy on the radio talking about my son, and that's no kin to him. I mean, they're not related. This Corey Hayes is like a guy of anger, hate.
And guys, I'm gonna play my version. Who she's talking about? The guy who she's talking about. I'm gonna play my version in a minute to let y'all see who the guy who she's talking about did. Right there. But go ahead, dear. Go ahead.
But I just wanted to get to the bottom line. I wanted to talk about my side of my son's story. I miss my grandson. We all love my grandson. We've been in his life since he was born. I don't care if they went to Atlanta, they came back to stay. It was calls on them. And this is the reason why that they both, the mother and the father, didn't want no one to know where they live. There were so many people in their business, and her side of the family wanted to take my oldest grandson. He wasn't the oldest grandson, but he was one of my oldest grandsons. It was always an argument back and forth from her family. They had so much, problems, issues, that it's just a shame. I mean, we listened to what Tamara was telling us about it, but we never knew that they'd go this far, all the way to the burial. We couldn't be allowed to see my grandson. When we got there, it was chaos. I mean, it was chaos. I just told the news reporters, I don't want to talk right now. We can talk over the phone. My brother came in town. My family came in town. And they wanted to support me, my son's side of the family. We get there, there was already, the brother, the other son was calling us messy. Honey, my brother's a bishop. My aunties, they was all there, they're evangelists. We coming messy. We didn't say nothing to nobody. We didn't talk to nobody. We just wanted to put our piece, say our piece, and come back home. And it was just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't have no one to talk to.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How was the message relayed to you when all this went down? Who contacted you?
Corey Hayes is the guy that been contacting me, texting me and my sister in Illinois, a lot of stuff about Tamara, supposedly his sister.
Okay.
But to my understanding, There are no kids. Her mom took him in. So I don't know. All the phone calls they were saying about the abuse, there was no arrest. Never an arrest. I read a lot of the stuff, you know. I read stuff in his personal files, you know. So I know what's going on. But all that talk about beating on the children, beating on him, my grandson JAKOBE, that was a lie. If that was the case, my son would have been arrested the first time in Atlanta. He would have been arrested the first time here. Attempts of they're trying to fault everyone else but themselves. You're trying to build an evidence, a case against someone. What is it? Because of their appearance, the way they act, because he don't keep his mouth closed? If someone say anything wrong to any of my children and you try to downgrade them, yes, sir, no disrespect, they have the right to ask you a question why. They have the right to ask you a question or say something back in return without threat. My kids do not sit down and just be quiet or hush hush for nothing.
Right. And
now
that's why I told you I'm glad you reached out, because whenever I do these stories, you know, anybody, even him, if he had the opportunity to talk and he saw the video, I would give him the floor. I give him the floor to come talk, because that won't be fair for me to do my synopsis of it. Then don't let him have a voice. But it's sad that he don't have a voice now, because I guess he's still locked up right now. So when you hit me up, I like, well, okay, you hold a big key to this, because you his actual mom. So maybe you can help me understand. Yeah. So maybe you can help me understand some things that I don't understand, because I remember in my video I did say allegedly he done this, but the news clip I just played, they saying making it like he admitted to doing this. How you feel about that?
Always do, but I would never knew that it would happen. People would never know until it happened to them. That sounds right? It's like you would never expect your child to be in trouble this major, this serious, and think that it would never be on the news. It's like the news puts so much feed in there, negative feed in there. It makes a person feel like they're ashamed. I'm not ashamed. To this day, I'm still hurt. You know, I have 5 grandchildren, and my other daughter's having another one away. It's like I have to have her to bring them around.
So when they say he admitted this, you think he was taking up for somebody?
He didn't admit it to the point that everybody thinks that he's admitted. Is it because I said on him? I never seen my son whoop his kid. You know, I always heard him cry. You know, I never hear him beat him. I never, no phone calls from me ever. You know, they come to my house. I keep them for a while. You know, they'll let me keep them for a while. Then they'll come back and get them for me. Other than that, no. And my son was 19. Not stupid. I don't want people to feel that we're defending. It's not about defending. It's not about protecting. It's about speaking out. And someone has to say how he is, how his life was. And so many people say that wrong crowd. You know, the kids get into a wrong crowd and do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. No, it's their mind. They raise right, and they go out there and they're testing those waters. They go out there and see what they can do this. But when JW had his kids, it's like he was a shield. Like, if I don't tell him where I'm taking them, like I'm taking the boys to McDonald's. If I get in town, I'm taking them to McDonald's. All right, Ma. Well, just let me know what time you might be back. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, you know, it's so hard to explain. It's just that I'm just tired. I'm tired. I hear from my son every day. Even work. Sometimes I have to put it on mute just so he can call someone else to talk to him to keep him company, you know. And when he found out all this, he thought maybe he was just going to be out of jail and go back to the hospital. We was told when we got to the hospital where we're not allowed to tell him anything. He went to court after Christmas, the day after Christmas, and his family was there. We was there. And when he collapsed on that floor in front of the judge, we all just flipped, you know, and we didn't flip out, but, you know, we got emotion. You know, we got so emotional that they had to walk me out. But when we come back into the courtroom, the judge said we can't see him anymore because they had to keep him together. He didn't know. You know, I don't even know how to put it. You know, I'm angry. I'm so disturbed that this is all happening, and for me I can't see my other grandchildren. The accusations about him abusing the other one. This is just too much.
So wait a
Too
minute.
much.
You knew he was in trouble before he did?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because I'm the one calling the hospital. That day I called the hospital. The kid's mother wouldn't tell me nothing. Nothing. Me and my oldest daughter, we started calling the hospital. I called, St. Francis? I called, Baptist East? I called Labana. Yes, Methodist. Man, when I finally called Labana, these folks told me I couldn't talk to no one. And that's when I knew that my kids was there. My grandkids was there. Come on now. I didn't feel right. If my son is in jail and he's calling my oldest daughter, ask Mom, do she got some bond money? Not knowing that this is all was going behind him. So I called the hospital, and the nurse get on the phone, and I said, listen, I'm the grandmother of, and I started naming all three of the children. And I said, I just want to know, is the mom there? And can I speak with her? You know, they wouldn't give me no information. She was like, no, we're not allowed to let her talk to you on the phone. But yes, she's here. I said, that's all I need to know. That's enough. And I got my way there. I get there. Security stopped us. We seen the mom, the kid's mother, and the guards. And they said, I need to sit down and need to have someone to come out and talk with me. I said, listen, I don't have all time for all this. I just want to see my grandchildren. I just want to make sure they're okay. And is my son still here? You know? They say he was getting questioned at the hospital. That didn't feel good to me either. I sat down. I tried to talk to the kid's mother. Some little that she was giving me. I contacted her mom because Corey Hayes is the same guy who was talking about and bashing Tamara's name so bad. I'm believing. I'm like, dang, but did my son tell me to stop believing everything they say?
Now, hold on. Before you go any further, is Tamara the one that Jarrod or Jarrod? How do I say his name?
Jarrod? His name is Jarrod.
Jarrod. So that's the one he was dating?
Yes.
And that's the one that's supposed to be Corey's cousin or sister or something?
He's using it as the brother. He's a brother.
Okay.
But when we spoke to Tamara, you know, when all this was going on, she said that's not his brother. That their mom took him in.
Okay, just trying to get understanding. Yeah, just try to keep up and get understanding of everything.
Yeah.
So they took you outside and they was trying to talk to you. I think that's where you left off.
No.
Oh, they didn't? Go ahead.
They set me down in the waiting room.
Okay,
I was in the waiting room.
Gotcha.
And when the social services came in, and one came in and was talking to me and asking who I was, I told him who I was. I'm the mother of Jarrod Wright. I said JW. I don't know why I keep saying, but they don't know him as JW, you know. So I was getting I was getting nervous because it was getting serious. To me, they was coming out, you know, in terror. So when one social worker came, she said, "Let me give you my supervisor." Oh my God! Then the supervisor come out in the hallway. They took me to the back, and when they came and told me all this, they took me to the side, and my oldest daughter was there, and they told me what happened to my grandson. Oh, I just flipped out. I just collapsed outside, and they all were trying to get me off the ground. And
so people knew
was like so many cops out there trying to get me off the ground. I mean, I lost it. I mean, I wasn't expecting that. Nobody shouldn't be expecting to hear that.
So your daughter knew before you did.
Tamara knew.
Oh, Tamara knew. Okay, I'm getting everybody.
We know nothing.
Okay. Gotcha.
My son's family. We didn't know none of this was going on until my oldest daughter got a phone call from my son.
Gotcha.
And I think that was that morning.
He called me at nighttime.
Yeah.
That told me to call Tamara, and Tamara was at the hospital with all three kids.
Yeah.
I knew something was up when she stood up there and said she got the two little ones downstairs.
And my baby was in surgery. Yeah.
She didn't say he was in surgery. She said he was upstairs. And then that's when JJ was talking about what's going on.
JJ is still Jarrod.
Okay.
Let's call him JJ. I call him JW.
Okay. Well, I'm glad both of y'all was able to talk on some things you probably can't say. Maybe she can get cleared up. So, what was he at the hospital for? If you don't mind me asking, what was he at the hospital for?
They said that he had surgery. Her mom didn't. I don't think her mom knew about it. Tamara's mom didn't know about it. We was talking on the phone as I was coming to Lavana.
Okay.
I was heading to Lavana.
Okay.
You know, but it's like they're contradicting themselves. They'll say one thing bad about Tamara, which is, you know, Corey Hayes' sister, and then they'll protect her. That's good. Everybody's supposed to protect your loved ones, but not nothing like this. We just wanted to get to the bottom line. That's all we wanted to do is get to the bottom line.
What'd she say?
She kept switching her story up.
She kept switching the story up. I'm glad she said that because I was just finna ask y'all. That was gonna be my next question. How was she acting when all this was going on?
It's
once we got to the hospital, she was too calm.
And that's when they told
that's what
us,
I wanted to hear.
When the social workers told us what happened, then that's when she wanted to tell us what happened. And I asked her, why did she never told me?
Right.
And then when the social workers told me, see, Mom, we never knew that they had family here. Tamara told them, and she exactly said, the social worker exactly told me, Tamara told them that neither one of them had family here. I've been here since 2014. I never left. When I moved to pack my bags, me and my kids had to put back, left a house for my other family members. I moved here to make a fresh start. We didn't come down here to start all this. We don't come down here to pick with nobody. We're just normal people like everybody else. We get into arguments. We get into fights, you know. I'm the type of parent raising my kids single, and I'm proud to say it too. 24-year-old, 17-year-old in the back seat. I have a 22-year-old, 21-year-old going 22. You know, I did it all by myself. And there's nothing wrong with us. Got a good job. I have a beautiful job, and I do well. I never had been charged with nothing, no domestic, nothing behind my belt. I never hurt my own kids.
Amen,
you know?
amen.
I never did anything to be put out there for anybody to scandalize my name. And I'm not going to let nobody else do that to my son. I'm not no Corey Hayes, not the other brother, Gregory Mims, none of these folks. Y'all can say what you want to say on the book, but you're not living our lives.
Now, who is Gregory? Who is Gregory?
That's Tamara's brother. He's on Facebook. I mean, they're like, Sean, just don't say. Yes. I mean, a whole lot of stuff.
I can't hear what she say. She says that did he what now?
He was the one who caused the mess, the commotion at the grave site.
And she finishing with her.
Wait a minute. So y'all at the grave site and people acting a fool at the grave site?
I just told you the bishop was there, which is my brother. The 65 people was there. We was all there. They was coming in town to support my family. You know, and right when we left the grave, come up the hill, the brother just called us messy. And why was we there? Why was we there? Really? We was there because he's a part of our lives too.
What the young lady was saying, she said they did what now?
His family was saying something like AC out of nowhere.
Yeah, call her, you know, his used to vanity, and my aunt stood up there and said, God still loves you. That's all she said. She said, God still loves you. You a woman of God.
Got you.
So if that's going to hurt you to make you so angry, we don't know what's going to change your heart.
What? Let me ask
we don't have time for it.
Let me ask y'all this, because what it sounds like to me, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of shade was being thrown at your son, but no shade was being thrown at Tamara.
Right. Yes.
Why was no shade being thrown towards her? Because I got a problem with
I don't know. I mean, they move so fast to push
issues. And they want to try to take us side, believe what she got to say, but not trying to hear what the son.
I don't know. I never met them. We never met her family. Never in our lives. We never met them since she was dating my son. I never met him. I always asked them, let's meet your mom. But I don't know. She don't know. I don't know why she never wanted me to meet, but it was fine. On that particular day was the only time that I actually spoke with her mother on the phone. And we were supposed to be on the same page to support one another. I promise you, it was so different. It was so different. They distanced themselves like, you know, we're supposed to come together when it's in the time of this. If somebody, no one shouldn't be trying to, we all supposed to get to the bottom line. Figuring out what happened.
Absolutely.
How did all this started? You know, what's going on? Not be trying to make it seem like because this is a boy that won't listen to you when you want to talk about the daughter or him, and he defends himself? Is it because he had a lot of mouth to tell you that he's not a kid? You're not going to talk to him like that?
Right.
It's just that, your kids, your boys, are arguing with my son. Like I said, I never met him. I'm just going by when they're talking to me, Tamara talking to me, or my son talking to me. And this is way before the time. Her mom helps when she can. I also help when I can. They live in Atlanta. I live here in Memphis. I'm not going anywhere. I'm definitely not going anywhere. I'm trying my best to do what I can do to make sure everything is understandable correctly, not the way people see it as news. And the news can get a person hurt. You're saying the wrong news.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. The news sometimes do add a little spice onto it than what it is. But like I was trying to say earlier, I'm like, y'all, I have a problem that if you are the mother of this child and your child is dead, you are so calm. I got a problem with that because why is nobody saying nothing about that, And also a lot of times when parents act like that mean they had something to do with it, So, wow, this is crazy, And again, I'm glad
it just get me going. I'm sorry. I love to talk.
No, you fine. You
fine.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to keep interrupting you. I can get my point across too.
Go ahead.
I never know that the DCS, they call it CSP or whatever you call it.
CPS.
I never know that they ignore any kind of abuse. You can call anonymously and they're going to take action. So they were saying, Hayes was saying it. Everybody, her mom, Tamara's mom, they was on the news of the funeral that day. Mm-hmm. They was all saying that they was calling they reported 10 times when. You've been gone from Memphis since 2000 and let me get this right. I think 2016, 17.
Mm-hmm.
So if my children were still here and your daughter and my son was still here and you in Atlanta, how can you call DCFS through what? Through a video? Are you going to call the Department of Human Services through a phone call? And the statements, it did not say anything about my son was arrested for any of those calls that you family supposed to have made. Whoever made it for you.
Well, you got people that's malicious enough, they'll find numbers.
Anger, hate,
stuff. Yeah, they'll do this stuff because it happened to me. CPS came to my house twice when somebody was staying with me, and they had made false allegations against me and that guy. We're going to find they both were false. So, and the reason I'm saying it is, when somebody is calling for a good cause, it's for what I'm learning. CPS don't really hop on that, but as soon as they hear a false allegation, they on there with the quickness. They on there with the quickness, and they keep the person who made these false calls anonymous. And I think if people making false calls like that out of spite, something needs to happen, because y'all wasting people's time and you putting people's life in danger. So I do agree with you on that aspect. But now, if I recall, I don't think the news even said they had any documents about CPS being called. I know they're saying it's supposed to be called, so I'm kind of agreeing with you. I go back and listen to it, but I'm kind of agreeing with you on that. I mean,
no. This is from the news. This is when they was on the news and they was saying the accusations that DCFS has been called 10 times, and and there was nothing they did, and it ended up to my grandson's death. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I have nothing against my grandkid's mother. She was my heart. I mean, it's like she's distant from me because I feel that she still needs time. Mm-hmm. And I understand that, honestly. I haven't lost a child. Lord, I haven't did anything but try to support. Mm-hmm. But if people who don't know us try to talk about his family, they need to just stop. We just ask to stop. Most folks probably forgot about this. I will never forget this. I will never forget what happened to my grandson. Never. It's just that I wish that, I don't know, I used to always just tell my kids, just bring him over, Mom. Just bring him over to the house. I just wish that day he was at my house. But they supposed to have sent my grandson was discharged because Tamara said that the doctors and them discharged him that night. Mm-hmm. He has the stomach virus or something. Mm-hmm. They gave him prescription for Pedialyte. And I know that Tamara and them is not lying, And they did call the paramedics several times, and the paramedics said that it was an emergency. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's too much going on. You're not going to put it on them like something happened to my grandson as murder.
Right. So
I feel that I need someone to dig deep and get to the bottom line.
So as
because I'm looking at my grandson was sick. Oh, her hair was in the way. Sorry. No, her wow. I'm so sorry.
No, you fine. Go ahead. You fine. So as of today, had any one of y'all heard anything from Tamara?
Yes. Tamara, I just had my older sister to contact her for me.
Okay.
And yeah, she talked to my older sister, but and my niece. But it don't matter as long as she's communicating. And I asked my sister, I was at work. I said, call her and ask her what size the other two grandkids is, and she told me. So I'm just trying to give, like I said, give her space. I want to be in their lives. I miss them. I miss them. I haven't seen them since that day.
And so the reason I asked y'all that because I want to know if y'all can express it. How she reacted. Y'all told me how she reacted in the hospital. She really didn't show no emotion. How did she react when he got locked up? And how she been?
I don't know.
Okay.
We wasn't.
What she say?
We wasn't there. I mean,
she ain't cared. When he got locked up, she ain't cared. I was on the phone with him. That girl ain't not one time cared about that boy being locked up. She was disrespecting him when he was on the phone trying to talk calm to the girl. She ain't cared. She ain't get a care in the world.
Wow.
She ain't even get a care in the world about my nephew.
To me, I believe, most young folks don't know how to hurt. Most young folks everybody take their feelings different. I'm not defending her. I'm just saying we don't know. We wasn't in that type of situation.
I was on the phone and I heard everything. I was the one on the phone. He called.
When he told me to call her myself, I heard that conversation.
Yeah.
She was like, what's going on with him? He was saying that he loved her. She didn't even say she loved him back.
She ain't cared about him being gone. She ain't cared about my nephew being gone.
I just feel that everyone needs to understand that we need to dig a little deeper than that.
Need to be heard.
We need to figure out what really happened to my grandson, and that's all that matters to me. Now, let me explain something to you. I'm not an investigator. I'm not a detective.
Not am I. Not am I. I just break the story.
But you know how we start thinking how we can put this stuff together.
Exactly. That's what I do too. Yeah.
If my grandson was sick, and there's a virus, no one knew about this virus.
Mm-hmm.
You discharged my grandson. My son takes him back to the hospital, same hospital, and now he's gone. You guys try to do surgery on him, and I don't know what it is, but I feel like they're covering themselves too. Now they're talking about this COVID started back in 2019, December. How really it hit us. They stopped us from seeing everybody in March, right before spring break. So we don't know what caused my grandson to be sick for any of this to be going like this. This distance of family separating instead of us blaming each other or, pinpointing things on each other. We need to go back just as well as the COVID went back. Let's go back. They said that they discharged him with some kind of virus, and they didn't know what it was. Getting prescription of Pedialyte. Throwing up all the symptoms. But I want to know what happened with the hospitals and all. I'm just not talking about my son. I'm talking about everything that's involved in my grandson.
And I agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't care about all that other extra stuff that people are talking about. If you got some kind of common sense, be on the same page I'm on. Let's help investigate this stuff together. Let's stop pointing fingers. Let's stop blaming particular people. Because they've been together for all them years. And that boy will not let them kids go out of his sight for nothing and nobody. If their favorite was JAKOBE. Tamara's family favorite was JAKOBE. Now, we know that for a fact. JAKOBE couldn't go nowhere even if they went to visit in Atlanta. I don't understand why they're doing all this. Show some kind of feelings like you used to do. Like you didn't want my son to come to me because he was with your daughter. Where's all that? Where's all the care supposed to be at? You cared about them before.
Right.
You send them both a ticket back here. Why? Is everybody all this, making it feel like that there's a lot of enemies out there. It's a lot of, I don't know how to put it, but I know what I'm saying.
Trust me.
Don't do that. Please don't do that.
I get
We're supposed to be a family to come together, not a family, true family, to come together and let's investigate what's really went on.
Right.
What them doctors is covering up. That's all.
And I get where you're coming from. With something like this, I can imagine, if I had a child, they were going through this, I'd probably be all over the place too. So that's why I don't mind you venting. That's why I don't mind you venting the way that you are, because I want the people, when they hear this, to understand, what's really going on, because everything ain't so cut and dry on the surface like we think that it is. But if you don't mind me asking, I want to ask your oldest daughter, if you don't mind, because she said earlier that the lady was disrespecting him while he was getting in all this trouble. Young lady, if you don't mind me asking you, when you say she was disrespecting him, can you give me an idea what she was doing to disrespect him?
Disrespect who? JJ?
Yeah.
Just anger. So you can answer. We already know what it was.
No, I guess
Tamara don't get her way. She mean.
Yeah, I guess I was asking in the sense
used to it.
Was she cussing him out and just dogging him out, or things like that?
She wasn't cussing him out on the phone or like that. It was just like every time he talked to her or asked her a question, she gave him a dry answer like it's just no care on what he's saying or what he's talking about. And that's his feelings right there, because he's ready for her to listen to what he's saying and answer him correctly, and not answer him correct answer by being dry with the conversation when he's talking to her.
Gotcha.
She'll just just don't care. Yeah, okay, like that. Like she just don't care what he gotta say. Like, and when he used to be on the phone with her, talk to her, she just never cared about what he gotta say.
That is so sad. Okay, I get exactly what you're saying.
This is our first time. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I get exactly what they are saying, because me personally, I hate dry conversation too. I mean, if I'm asking you something and I need an answer to it, don't answer me dry. Please give me some answer to understand, especially when it comes to a child. So I understand exactly where they are coming from when they saying that. And if he did do that, then he deserves some answers he was trying to get. So again, I appreciate y'all reaching out to me, because we didn't know all this. But like I told you last night, it's always more to the story. And there's always like little details like this.
Sir.
It's always details like this that we be missing, how the mom reacting. And I'm hearing a whole lot about how she was reacting, and nobody was throwing no shade at her, and I'm kind of curious about that, But,
my question is, sir, why no one called me? Tamara has my cell phone number, never changed since I moved down here in 2014 again. No one never called me when he went to the hospital the first time. I should have got a call. They could have called me Christmas Eve. I could have came up there and seen what was going on, and the talk, just to be with them, Why no one called me? Why? Because they're angry. They didn't want me to know. They didn't want me to find out he was that sick. I mean, I'm answering for them, but I'm asking the same question. Why nobody didn't call me? I could have had the decency. They should have had the decency to call me to let me know what was going on with my grandkids. We was here. I mean, I don't know why that if we was told that he didn't have siblings here. He didn't have family here. Tamara is my family. She still is my family. She just got her own little way. But the other folks on her side, I don't know those people.
Right.
I still met those people before my life. I'm 45 years old. I never met them.
Wow.
Never met them. Don't even know what color car they drive. I don't care. I just want to know that he had two grandparents here that should have been together. When she came in town, we should have been together. We should have been trying to get our heads together to figure out what really truly happened. We neither one of us was around when this situation happened. It's just a lot of talk. They wasn't near Memphis when all this happened. Just a lot of talk. That's the only thing that really burdens me, is that why was so much talk from Atlanta all the way down here to Memphis? I don't understand.
I have two questions before we go further. And one of them, I had to go back to what I asked you earlier, So if he didn't know what he was being arrested for, when he finally found out what he was being arrested for, why did he admit to doing that if he knew that he didn't do that, or however the case may have been? Why do you think he admitted to doing all that?
Mentioning doing what he said in the statement
Yeah,
that
they was in the
is he in
statement.
the hospital because I sat on him to whoop him? I don't know. I can't answer that.
Gotcha.
I never seen him chastise his kids. Well,
Gotcha.
actually, him. He was the oldest one.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, I knew nothing about this until now the news, where they said that one of them ribs was bruised and all that. I didn't even know nothing
so
about
you
all
never
that
heard?
stuff.
So that was your
That's
first time hearing
something
that?
new.
That was your first time
That
hearing
all
that?
this stuff is new. All this stuff is new to me.
Wow.
You know, him spanking his kids, I never seen him. God is my witness. I never seen him whoop his kids in public. Around me, at my homes, or nothing. But I heard him cry.
Right.
Like, get your diaper off, put it in the trash, you know? Eat your food.
Right.
No, you want to leave the table till you eat your food. Tamara never said anything, you know? She's sitting there, watching him eat his food.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he come to my house, I let him sit on top of my dining room table when I cook his breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
I never have to lie about nothing like that. Those are the times I'm missing him more.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I heard him, I read the statements, what he said. Is it because, you know, is he in the hospital? Is he sick because I sat on him? Or they doing surgery? I think it's because, what was it? When he said he was still at the hospital and they was interrogating him in one of the rooms.
Mm-hmm.
They was already about to do surgery on him, you know? He told me about the two detectives approaching him. And when he came back to the hospital, he had a neighbor to take him this last time. It's just so much stuff. And if he really hiding something that he did his son, he would never gone back to the hospital for the second time. Period.
Gotcha. And for his sentence, what did they give him, or is it, he's still trying to fight it?
What you say now? I'm sorry.
I said, as far as
my daughter's on the other phone.
Okay, as far as his sentencing, what did he get, or he's still trying to fight it?
Sir, we still fighting. I just don't know how to get there. I don't know what to do. I had an attorney when it first started. His time was up. This is the first time for everything that's going on with my son right now. So he has another public defender. Haven't had a court date. Every time it's court date, Lord have mercy on my soul, it's always canceled. I took off work last week, one day, because I was ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Ma, again, they canceled it.
Wow.
Everybody is this person is constantly canceling his court date. I don't know. Okay. Every time I say I come to one of them,
they end up canceling it.
Say, well, you're not allowed to come anyway. It would just be him coming, to get, oh my God, really? It's like it never started. It ain't never start nowhere.
Right.
It's like, I just feel that's like, it's like people giving up. I'm not going to never give up. I'm not going to never give up on none of this. I just want to know what's going on.
Gotcha.
I want to know what's going on. So no, sir, I don't know the years. I don't know the time. I don't even know a regular scheduled court hearing. I don't know none of that.
Got you. Understand. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play my version, and we're going to hear the court guy that you was talking about, and now we're going to let you elaborate more on that situation. And, and I'll let you do the closing statements or whatnot. So here's my version of the story, guys, that I did. Have a listen. So let's go to the other newsroom, and let's have a listen.
Uncovers questions surrounding the murder of a 2-year-old boy. Thanks for joining me. I'm Katina Rankin. My co-anchor Richard is off. I'm talking about JAKOBE Chaffin. He died Christmas Eve. His father is in jail charged with his murder. The child's relatives are pointing fingers at the state of Tennessee, saying it dropped the ball by not getting the child out of the house when abuse reports had been filed. Local Live Team senior investigator Jenny DePrizio has been digging for answers all day, and she joins us in the studio with what she's learned. Jenny.
Yeah, the child's uncle says he personally called the Department of Children's Services 10 times to report abuse. Twice.
Now, anytime you want me to stop and you want to elaborate, just let me know. But they calling him the uncle, so.
I heard it.
Okay.
I just nod my head.
Okay.
They lived in Georgia, and 8 times when they moved to Tennessee, but nothing was ever done to remove the child from his parents.
He was an amazing kid, big personality. I mean, he just lit up the room in any room he entered.
Corey Hayes says his 2-year-old nephew, JAKOBE Chaffin, would still be alive today if state caseworkers would have done their jobs.
The system definitely failed JAKOBE. Like I said, there were multiple cases, detailed cases. I mean, very detailed.
Chaffin's father, Jarrod Wright, is charged with his son's murder. Blunt force to the stomach is listed as the cause in court paperwork. Hayes says the state dropped the ball by not doing enough to investigate the reports of abuse. He says one of the issues.
His case sat for months on an empty desk. For someone that no longer works with the agency is what I found out.
Hayes says Chaffin's 2 younger siblings were finally taken into state custody after his death on Christmas Eve.
She has a 1-year-old that had fractured ribs where he had been beat.
I guess he's talking about the other kids. Is he talking about the other kids as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
He never met him, but okay.
Him. And the 1-month-old had fractured ribs where he threw her into a wall.
Hayes says nothing will bring his nephew back, but says he plans to take whatever
This man
action
never
is
met
necessary.
my grandkids. The last 2, he never met them.
Okay.
I know.
To prevent this from happening to another child. The state has not commented on the family's claims. Wright is in jail without bond. He has a court hearing next week. For the Local Eye team, I'm Jenny DePricio.
All right, guys, that was my version of it. You know, you want to go hear mine? I'll post a link in the comment section when I get through talking to her. Now, that came from Corey. He said CPS had detailed information. He claimed that there was a 1-year-old with broken bones or whatever, or whatnot. But now you telling me he never met these people. So, wow.
You know, my granddaughter was born on my son's birthday.
Okay.
And she was born here.
Mm-hmm.
I was here.
Wow.
I don't understand.
And like I told you last night, when the story hit, because actually somebody sent me your son's story. That's how I ended up doing it. Somebody had sent it to me. Another person that stays down here in Memphis. And when I did the story, I did reach out to Corey, but for what he was telling me at that time, that he would like to come talk, but he had to get it clear with the lawyer first. But he never gotten back with me to tell me anything about this. So of course,
what lawyer? I mean, what do you need?
That's what he told me.
Just listen. What do you need to be protected from if you didn't do anything wrong? Speak your mind.
I had no idea. I didn't know that what he told me. He said he had to wait to get confirmation for a lawyer, and he was talking to the lawyer, but he never got back with me to say, okay, I can come and talk to you. So I just kind of left it alone. I just kind of left it alone. So, wow. So you saying that what he's saying, there's some friction in that.
Yes, sir, it is. And I'm not gonna keep my mouth closed. I really don't care who watching, who listening, or anything like that. But if there's people out there like me, and that have a situation or a similar situation like mine, please don't give up. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find out what happened. I don't care. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not a detective.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just trying to figure things out myself. This is new, and I'm learning. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if it takes another 2 years. Mm-hmm. I'm going to figure out what's going on with my son, my grandson, everything. I just need answers. Some real answers.
Got you. And I want you to understand, I'm not a detective either. I just do the news, and I do the news on children, and I've been doing it for like 4 years now, since 2016. So, and again, anything when I do stories like these, I welcome anybody to come and correct me. I mean, I've talked to so many mothers. I want to say I even talked to a couple of fathers, about all these kind of stories, because you just never know. Something I may got wrong, and that y'all hold the key to what's really going on, or you know a little more information than what's put out there. So again, I'm glad you reached out to me, and I'm actually glad that your daughters are able to put more input on the story, so people can get a little more understanding as to what's going on. Because I hate to see an innocent person get in trouble if they really are innocent. So if you
his siblings are hurt just as well as everybody else is hurt. They hurt too. They're very hurt.
So I guess my last question would be to you as far as this goes. You mentioned earlier that Corey is appears to be a hateful person, or angry person, or whatnot.
Yes,
Why you label him as that?
because for you to say cruel things about I guess your sister, your play sister, whatever, which is Tamara,
Mm-hmm.
through text, I had to save every message that this man had sent me. It's like I thought that they was here in Memphis, not knowing that he didn't live here. You know, it's like you saying all this cruel stuff, then you want to sit up here and say that your sister had something to do with something like this. I mean, I I just want to know why you so hateful towards my son. You remember you said they stayed with you several times.
Mm.
They supposed to did this. You called the police. The police didn't do nothing. You said you're gonna give them a chance. You know all this. Why are you trying to make it so hard and read it out like my son is just a dog? Like he's one of those murderous type of kids, and you knew him. He lived in your house. To do anything like that to his son, I don't understand why he feels like he hate him to that point. Instead of him trying to figure out what really happened, he want to just bash his name. Be like me, try to figure out what's happening. I am his mother. I'm his only mother. I'm his father too.
Okay.
So no one can tell me anything about my children. Because if you do, you come to me. Communicate with me. You don't have to get so irrational. Talk with me. Let's figure out what happened. Instead of you going on the social site and just, I don't know. He must have wrote a story before he did all this. I don't know. But please don't do that. Don't practice this. This is some real life shit.
Well, at the end of the day, this whole thing is tragic, you know.
Yes, it is.
And children should not have to go through this, and especially if things like this happen to families should not be going against the grain, against each other. Everybody should be, like you said earlier, I think everybody should come together and be on the same page, you know, to try to get this resolved or whatnot, you know. But even if let's just say Jarrod is guilty, you know, if you got to resolve to find that he is guilty, I mean, at least y'all came together and find out what the problem is, you know. And if Tamara, if she's just as guilty, then y'all came together and said, okay, Tamara, you had just as much to do with this as he did, you know. So why you throwing shade at him? Like you don't give a damn about him. And if Corey, you know, where in your turn you want so hateful, all y'all can come together and you know, try to get justice for this child, you know. So so again, I never had a chance to talk to Corey and let him tell me more details, but you know, it's gonna be a year old now. He may see this, he may not see it, I don't know. But you know,
I wouldn't care who's seen it, sir. I really don't. I just need to know who I can speak with. And if I see multiple people, you know, YouTubing this or, you know, on the social media, like I said, I'm a parent.
Mm-hmm.
And if I see something and it keeps bringing to my attention how I miss them and why you know, actually the last time I seen my son was the beginning of March. I don't know how he looked. I don't know none of this. You know, I want to know what's going on. The bottom line is that stop lying. That's the title. Lie. Stop.
I got you.
The lies can kill you. Trust me.
I got you.
Stop lying.
Well, dear, I'm glad you found me. And I'm glad you want to speak and get your truth out there. And you know, hey, if Jarrod is innocent, then you know, I agree with you. Keep fighting until his innocence is proven. And again, I'm glad your daughters was able to say some things on this well too. So you know, I thank all of y'all, and we'll just see what happens from there. You get any more updates? You want to talk to me again? Hey, feel free to hit me up with more updates on this story or whatnot. You know, but other than that, though, I give you the last say. So, what you want to say?
Thank you, Mr. Chris.
You're welcome.
Nothing else to say.
You ain't gotta call me Mr. I think you older than me. I just turned 40 last February. I'm gonna be 41 in February on Valentine's again. So you ain't gotta call me Mr.
It's with respect. I do it all the time.
I got you. All right, dear. Like I told you, I will put it up later and let people hear the update and whatnot. And But again, the main important thing is, like you said, regardless of what people think, is get justice for your son. If he's innocent, then you go get justice for your son and get justice for their baby.
Thank you, Mr. Chris.
No problem. Y'all have a good day. Y'all take care.
You too.
All right. I want y'all to understand again. This is why I like doing what I'm doing, and this is why, because when you do stories, and I think when you do it the right way, if it's such thing as the right and the wrong way, you do it the right way. You know, you have people who's in the immediate family or whatnot that want to come out and speak. This story is almost a year old. I did this story back in January, and she found me last night and wanted to speak about this, about her son. She feel that, you know, I guess she feel he's innocent. And again, you know, the news don't tell you so much. You know, it takes people like them and who all was involved around the child to put on their extra info that we do not see in the news. And this is why I am proud of what I do with my channel. You know, wow, yeah. I'm really kind of speechless. You know, man, I don't know. Well, I'll just leave it at this. You know, my goal is to help get justice for children, and hopefully by her getting her voice out, you know, it's going to help get justice for this child. What if Jarrod is guilty of this, or the mother of that child is guilty of this as well? The main goal is to get justice for JAKOBE. Amen. Amen. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this, how you feel about this, you know, and yeah. I'm your man, Chris Thorns, and until next time, peace.